Okay, there we go. Okay, we live? Yes, we are live. Wow. Okay, amazing, amazing. All right, guys. It was worth waiting for. It was worth waiting to get to the audio part over here. Now we got the audio working. Okay. Bottom line is, guys, we are suing Datametrex for fraud, amongst other causes of actions. It's going to be a lawsuit filed in federal court in New York with our attorney Robert Hantman, who is major uh, litigator in New York. We had to sue a company about a year ago. It was a New York Stock Exchange company. I don't want to mention a name. I mean, there's probably paperwork out there, but they had to settle for significant amount of money, and it cost them, much more, many multiples of what Datametrex is on the hook for. And by the way, just so you know, first of all, know this: this company will be paying out that they will settle for the full contract amount. Plus, it's probably going to cost them, I figure, $200,000 in legal fees by the time they're done. So they're going to be out $300,000, maybe $400,000. It'll take 9 months, a year, and this company is going to go through some interesting depositions. There's going to be discovery, and it's going to really open a can of worms into this stock, which I believe is a fugazi. Okay, now I think we dodged a real bullet over here. I think we really dodged a bullet because I believe the stock is going to a penny. If you look at this chart, and again, I say, look, charts don't lie. You can clearly see this thing is breaking down below the 50, the 200-week moving average. And it's on a direct course with about a penny. I think we're going to see 1 penny in the stock. And again, I'm rarely wrong about these things. I told you the same thing was going to happen with Now Vertical Group, another stock that's down 75%. Since we told you it was heading for a disaster. Guys, look, this is actually a learning lesson here. Here's what you can learn about this Datametrex. First of all, look, if you read my book, 10-Bagger Blueprint, #1 bestseller on Amazon, then you would know one of the most important things that we need for a stock to succeed is we need to have a CEO who's got 3 qualities, all right? For a stock to become a 10-bagger or a 100-bagger or whatever it is, they got to have 3 qualities. Number 1 is they got to execute. Number 2 is they need to promote the stock. It's very important because without promotion, without eyes on a stock, you're not going to go anywhere. And the stock is the tail that wags the dog. If your stock is trading at a high valuation, you got volume, you can raise capital, you can do all sorts of stuff. It totally can transform a company. We've seen that happen with some of our winning stocks, right? You guys have seen our 10-baggers perform that way. The other thing is you need to have a CEO who's got balls. Okay, it's very important. You got to have balls because if you don't, you're going to fail. Okay, and this company, Datametrex, is an example of what happens when you have a CEO that does not have balls, like Marshall Gunter, who is failing badly in terms of execution. He's failing at promotion. He's been failing at, and we clearly see he's got no balls here. So let's kind of give you a little bit of a background. Again, this is a company that contacted us, a year ago. Okay, a year ago, the stock was much higher. I turned it down. Okay, it was a $250,000 contract. I turned it down. And this is the same guy that gave us GBLC, by the way, which we took on. It was very, and I admitted it before, it was a bad decision to take on GBLC. And I took it on because it was Bitcoin was hot, crypto was hot at the time. It's okay. This thing could be a thing that breaks out based on the thing. The guys around it are kind of not that great, but the theme is hot. The stock could work. And you know what? It failed. It went up a little bit after we introduced. I think it rallied 50%, and then it completely collapsed. It was a clown show. It was an absolute clown show. You're seeing the same thing. It's the same guys. It's the same guys. Marshall Gunter is another one of these losers. Now, here's the thing. This guy, again, approached us last year. We turned it down. We turned down Datametrex at $250,000. Okay. Now, a year later, I'm looking at the stock. We're doing well with AI. We got AI MLF is already up. From a nickel to hit 20 cents the other day. We're having a normal pullback. By the way, if you read 10-Bagger Blueprint, then you know that these things are part of the course for 10X. And I think AIMLF could be potentially a $2 stock. Again, we're 6 million valuation today. At $2, it's only 100 million valuation. So I think there's a path to massive move there. And quite frankly, I mean, if you think that Datametrex is an AI stock, it's really not, okay? And if you want a really pure play AI stock that's going after the $1 trillion healthcare market, I suggest you take a look at AIMLF, okay? AIMLF, $6-7 million valuation today. These guys know how to promote, at least we're seeing, right? And they can execute. And there's no skeletons in the closet. There's no can of worms like these guys have at Datametrex. Now, by way of background, so I contact these guys. I say, look, the AI theme is hot. We're doing well with the AI stuff. I think you have some interesting things. There's some potential. You got this EV stuff, whatever. Some of these things are questionable, but you know what? Look, I think I can work with these guys and train them, and potentially these things can become real businesses, potentially, right? And this thing, the valuation is cheap enough, right? So I'm thinking, this could work, right? Potentially. So I reach out to them. They get very excited. What's his name? Ryu and Marshall, very excited. Okay. And by the way, I said, look, the market we've been in a bear market. I'm going to give this deal at half price. It's not our normal price. It's going to be $125 for 6 months. And, that's what they agreed to. Okay. And it was like that. I mean, because they knew the track record, they knew the performance, they were eager to sign up, and the price was right, especially compared to last year, right? And of course, the guy puts out a glowing press. I mean, they could not wait to get started. He puts out a glowing press release, beautiful glowing press release, and sure enough, and he's pushing me. Let's get we want you to talk to our people. We got to get the thing. I say, okay, look, we're going to do our preparation on our end, but until you guys pay, actually, we're not going to actually promote the stock. I mean, we're doing some preparatory work, so it's costing us money to do the thing that we need to do to get things prepared. But we're not going to promote the stock until obviously you pay, etc. And I think what this guy was hoping for was that the stock was going to pop on the news release, right? Which a lot of times happens, especially in a hot market. Now, again, it usually happens when we start talking about the stock. Now, unless we're talking about the stock, it usually doesn't go. So I think this guy was trying to scam us to get maybe a free sampler, he was thinking. I don't know. Sure enough, a week later, I get a call from this knucklehead, Marshall, saying, I've been getting calls from some shareholders. They're really angry at me because they're saying that you're a pump and dump guy, and they're very unhappy. And I said, well, Marshall, how much do you know about Wall Street Report? You came to us last year, right? Our track record. We don't do pump and dump. I mean, our stocks go up 10x, 50x or more. We've seen, right? Now, of course, that's when the companies are working with the Wall Street Reporter. What they do a year later, 2 years later, it's not my problem, right? Now, most of these penny stocks, most stocks, unless the companies are promoting and executing, they go down, right? We've never had a company go down while they were on the Wall Street Report. It never happens. I mean, maybe 10%, whatever it is, but we don't have companies go down. Now, the guy that he worked with, George Tsioulas from Agoracom, he has companies go to zero. Look at the CBDT, a stock that Greasy George Tsioulas was promoting from 250 down to a penny. Now, why do I bring up George? Because Datametrex was one of their promoters, George Tsioulas, who's a fraudster. I'm actually going to show you something. I'm going to show you some. So this guy Marshall, he's concerned about pump and dump, but I'm going to show you something very interesting. I'm going to show you something very interesting. I'm going to show you. Hang on a second. Let me pull this up. Let me pull up the George Tsioulas fraud. Here we go. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm going to make this a nice big screen here. Okay, so this is who Marshall has hired before, which is Agoracom, a firm that the Ontario Securities Commission went after for they settled, I think, for $125,000 or $250,000 fine. Basically, he had Greasy George. He, on his messenger boards, he had a whole bunch of fake accounts. I think 600 fake accounts. You could read this article. And he had a bunch of fake accounts pumping these stocks. So not only was he defrauding his clients, the public companies, by giving these fake promotion, but he was also defrauding you. That's right. You, the people who think this Greasy George is a wonderful guy. And Greasy George was basically screwing you. That's right. Greasy George was fucking you by having all these fake accounts. And everybody still loves this guy. Everybody still loves him. He's got, maybe it's that mustache. Maybe it's Greasy George's, Dirty Sanchez mustache and the stupid logo he wears, that Agoracom. I mean, and anyways, but this guy, so Marshall was using this guy. He'll probably go back to hiring Agoracom or some other scumbag firms in Canada, which don't perform. They charge companies. They don't deliver results, and we're going to see Datametrex, really go to that 1 cent, especially once our lawsuit gets started. But again, this is who Marshall works with. Marshall works with frauds, and imagine this: he's telling me he's concerned that we're fraud. This is Greasy George, by the way. So, I mean, it is amazing. It's really quite amazing. Anyway, so the guy calls me up. He says, "Look, we got these people are complaining." I said, "Okay, no problem. You want to cancel? Okay." I don't, listen, I mean, I'm not that thrilled about working with you. I don't want to work with a guy who's got no balls. If you're going to get shaken by a couple of pikers, a couple of guys who own a few shares, who are emailing you, okay, guys who are on message boards, behind, these cowards, behind these, fake names, if that rattles you, I don't want to work with you, okay? So I'll tell you what, send me, 30 grand, break the contract, and we'll, that's it. You'll never hear from us again. And it was, then all of a sudden he flips out. He gets, well, yeah, we didn't agree with this. Well, Marshall, you signed a contract. You're supposed to be a CEO of a public company, right? So you're supposed to have done your due diligence before. If we're supposedly pumping up, now we're not, because you begged us last year. You signed a contract with us. You're surrounded by advisors. Andrew Ryu, other people in your company, intelligent people, right? You got other people telling you, you're seeing the results we have. So now because a couple of pikers are telling you, this guy's, we don't like this guy. So again, this guy has no balls. I don't want to work with him. But if he wants to break the contract, although again, we have a legally binding contract, he owes us the money. I said, look, give us a break fee of 30 grand, no problem. So this guy reneges on that. So now we have to sue him, right? We're going to have to sue this guy, and he will either lose if we go to trial. I guarantee you this. Okay, he's going to lose in a jury trial, New York federal court. Okay, or I should say federal court in New York, with Robert Hantman. Again, look, Bob Hantman. I mean, he sued major companies. Again, he sued a New York Stock Exchange company for us. Massive settlement. Okay, massive. All right, not little numbers like the numbers we're talking about here. Massive numbers. Okay, I can't go into the details. He sued like George Steinbrenner of the New York Yankees. You remember the New York Yankees? That's $1 billion organization, right? George Steinbrenner was known to be a prick, right? George Steinbrenner settled. I think it was $1 million. It was back in the day when $1 million was $1 million. But look, we're going to drag these guys through the mud of the legal system. We're going to open a major can of worms. Look at all because a lot of this stuff, there's a lot of stuff that is going to come up because it's relevant. It's relevant to the case, which is going to come up in depositions. I can't wait till we get Marshall into the deposition. We start asking, it's going to be amazing. I mean, this guy looks like a fool now. He's going to look even worse. We're going to put up the video here on YouTube, his video, where Bob Hantman is going to be ripping him 5 new assholes. I mean, it's going to be amazing. So anyway, what you guys need to know is that when you buy a stock like Datametrex, any of these stocks, you're betting on the CEO, right? Again, I talk about this in my book. You want to have a winning stock, you got to have the winning CEO. This guy has clearly proven himself. He's clearly proven himself to be a loser, okay? He's not been able to execute. We know this. He's not been able to promote the stock. It's very obvious. And now we know the guy has no balls. So, and we know the types of promoters he hires. Greasy George of Agoracom. That's right. Greasy George of Agoracom. How many people did he have? How many people did Greasy George have? 24,000 posts. The commission, the Ontario Securities Commission, alleges that Agoracom had 670 aliases created by its reps, its employees. They made 24,000 posts. Representatives had between 40 and 50 aliases. Some had up to 200 and were required to make a requisite number of posts per hub per day or risk having their pay docked. So man, this is a Greasy George is quite the taskmaster. And so hopefully, maybe the Marshall is going to hire Greasy George again. He'll fire up those fake accounts. Greasy George is going to fire up those fake 600 accounts, and maybe he'll pump the stock. But you know what? Look at that chart. Look at that chart. This thing had a possibility. Okay, we could have turned it around if we started a program and if they actually did some execution. But no, you look at that chart, you look at the weekly chart, you see this thing is breaking below. It's got no support, and it will go to a penny again. Not a guarantee. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna get. Yeah, actually, no, I shouldn't guarantee because we're not making investment advice. It's not investment advice. Just so you know, so you guys know, this is not investment advice. This is not investment advice. I'm telling you what's happening. This is my opinion that this thing is going to go to a penny. Again, especially once we start the lawsuit going. And we're going to be doing updates. I'm going to be doing regular updates about this. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good for this company. This guy is clearly an idiot. I mean, really, what kind of moron signs a contract, a week later, cancels it and claims, oh, I didn't know this or that, whatever. And now he's going to get involved in a lawsuit, which is going to make him look like an even bigger idiot. But look, that's the way it is with these microcap guys. A lot of these microcap CEOs in Canada, again, I talk about it in the book. A lot of these guys are just stone cold losers. They're stone cold losers. And you got to avoid them. You got to avoid these CEOs who are losers. You got to go with winning stocks. You got to get my book, 10-Bagger Blueprint. Get this book on Amazon. Go through the proven system. AIMLF, I think, is going to be one of our winning stocks this year. Novomentis and MLSF. Other companies, I think we got a couple stocks which have that 10x upside potential. And what you should do is, again, I'm not telling you what to do with your money, whatever, but if you were smart, you would be positioned in stocks that are the opposite of Datametrex, okay? Stocks which have CEOs that actually know what they're doing. Again, I'm giving you two examples right here, which is Datametrex, Novomentis. Again, deep value stocks, multiple catalysts for 10x. Those are our next super stocks. Anyway, guys, get the book. Here's to your 100x. And we'll probably have an announcement about the lawsuit in about a week or so. These guys, these lawyers, sometimes they move a little slow, but it's happening. The wheels of justice move slowly, as they say, right? But they will, and we'll see some exciting things happening. All right, here's to your 100x.